Hi everyone, this is Diana Layton, Youth Librarian at the Mark and Emily Turner Memorial Library in Prescott, Maine, here to present my November 2010 Teen Book Talk, where we'll be taking a look at Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld. This is the first Scott Westerfeld book that I've read, which may be a little surprising because I'm sure a lot of you have read and enjoyed his Ugly series. But this is the start of a new series, and it's really taking advantage of the growing interest in steampunk culture and genre fiction. We're seeing a lot of new titles come out, especially in science fiction and fantasy for adults. So what steampunk is all about is taking historical or alternate history scenarios and reinventing them to look at how society would be different if our technology was all steam powered, for the most part. So when you think about steam powered trains from the turn of the century, take that concept and expand it to all elements of our society, and that gives you a good idea of steampunk. Usually works with the Victorian era and imagery a lot. So all of those soft laces and velvets and things like that of the Victorian era mashed up to, lots of heavy machinery. So it's pretty cool stuff. Leviathan totally does that. But in this case, we're looking at World War I, and it's been reinvented in this steampunk genre where we have the clinkers, which are countries who, again, pretty traditional steampunk. They have huge mechanized walkers for everyday use, but especially for military operations. And they're up against the Darwinists, which they're a little bit different. They actually bioengineer their machines from animals that you would be pretty familiar with. And different devices, lighting, all kinds of things. Communication is all run on these bioengineered creatures, usually referred to as beasties throughout the book. It's a lot to handle because they work as an ecosystem too. So thankfully there's lots of really great illustrations throughout the book by Keith Thompson, including this one of the Leviathan, which you'll notice has an eyeball. It has two eyeballs because it's actually a whale and this whole ecosystem that flies like an airship. And you see that a lot in the steampunk as well, lots of airships and balloons. And in the corner is a small balloon based off of a jellyfish. So for some readers, this is going to be an acquired taste. I think in America especially, we're really comfortable with mechanical technology and automobiles and things like that. We're still getting used to the idea of bioengineering at all, and we don't really like to see it or think about it. So for some readers, this is going to raise a lot of important questions for them to address with themselves. And thankfully, we have two great characters along the way. On the Darwinist side, we have Darren, who is a Scottish girl in the British Air Forces, pretending to be a boy because she has to. They don't allow girls. And she does a pretty great job, and she flies on the Leviathan. And then on the Clanker side, we have a major character, Prince Alec, who is the son of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now again, this is all alternate history, so a lot of you might say, I remember Franz Ferdinand from my history classes. So again, we see a lot of familiar places and faces and names and things. So, for people who really like that particular era of history or just history in general, I think you'll really gravitate to this. For new readers, you may learn some elements of World War I that you didn't know before. Again, it's alternate, so just keep in mind that there weren't actually airships derived from whales. But, I think readers of historical fiction may find a bit to like here. I also think a lot of gamers, steampunk imagery has been used a lot for quite some time in a lot of popular video games, and I think you'll really enjoy this. Because that's a big part of this too. What Leviathan really is a great, straightforward action-adventure story in lots of crazy locales, and there's war battles and, everything you would expect from a historical war story. But then you have all of these different elements with all these different engineered devices and how they work together that just make it really fresh and new. Again, this is the start of a new series. The second book is out and it's called Behemoth. I just finished it this week because I liked Leviathan so much, and I can go ahead and tell you Behemoth is equally fantastic. New places, new characters, new devices, and again, it's just really exciting if that's what you're into, and I really enjoyed it. So I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys next month, and until then, happy holidays. Thanks.